Hey, I'm Eric. I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out the video pinned to my profile. Today, I listened to the 1981 album Fire of Unknown Origin from Blue Öyster Cult. So if you've heard some of my other, or if you watched some of my other videos, I'm trying to think of where I mentioned it. Maybe the AC/DC one or the Styx one. I talk about how when I was in my early, not even teenage, I was 12 or 13, probably 12 or 13. The Satanic Panic was in full force, and a group of people came to my parents' church, and one Sunday night was giving a presentation on the Satanic Panic and the ills of rock and roll, and showing all these album covers and videos, and they're playing all these songs where backwards masking was happening, and all these satanic looking album covers, and just bands to avoid. Of course, AC/DC was on there, and so was Styx, and which I have no idea why now looking back, but that's a rabbit. But one of the big bands that they talked about was Blue Öyster Cult, specifically this album cover, and they talked about how they were promoting the occult and Satanism. Blue Öyster Cult has it upside down. It looks like an upside down cross mixed with a question mark, and they said that was a sign of the devil. It was an occult symbol, and they covered 3 different Blue Öyster Cult album covers. This was one of them. I just thought it always looked cool. I mean, they didn't scare me. It just made me, think. I thought it was a cool looking album. So I finally listened to it. I'd never listened to it before. So apparently, they wrote a lot of these songs on this album for the animated movie in 1981, Heavy Metal. I don't know if you've seen that. If you're my age, you'll know what that is. So they wrote several of these songs for that movie, and none of them got used. And one that's on this album that they didn't write for the movie ended up being used. And I remember it from the movie. I saw that movie when I was way too young to see that movie. That and a couple other ones. If you heard this is a rabbit, but there are several movies that shaped my younger teenage years that I was way too young to see at the time. Heavy Metal being one of them. As far as this album goes, let's quit chasing rabbits and get back to the album. As far as the album goes, the one song that probably everybody's heard is "Burning for You." That was it was a fairly big hit for them, so everybody's heard that one. And then the song that's on the Heavy Metal soundtrack that they didn't write for Heavy Metal is a song called "Veteran of the Psychic Wars." They wrote the lyrics to that song with a science fiction writer. I can't remember his name. I'd never heard of him. Yeah, it's a weird song. I like it, but it's just a weird. The lyrics are just weird. But I remember it in the movie now. Once I heard it. Other song. Probably my favorite song on the album is a song called "Vengeance," which that's one of the songs that was actually written for the movie, and it actually is in detail, it describes part of the movie, and that's why they didn't use it, because it was just too detailed about the movie. But the song's called "Vengeance." That's probably my favorite one on there. My other favorite is a song called "Heavy Metal: The Black and Silver." I don't know what that part's about, but it's a cool song. There's just several cool songs. A lot of the lyrics are just weird. And I can only attribute that to the fact that they were writing them for the movie. I don't know. The title track, "Fire of Unknown Origin," is really good. I liked it a lot. And there's it's just a weird little album. Early 80s rock, which we now would call classic rock, but it's early 80s rock. It's got some really good guitar playing on it, some good guitar parts. Buck Dharma is the guitar player, and I remember seeing his name in guitar magazines in the 80s when I was first learning how to play, and wasn't real familiar with some of the tracks or some of the songs that they were covering in these magazines. And I remember seeing Buck Dharma in a couple of magazines, but he's a guitar player. he has some really good guitar parts on here. I was pleasantly surprised. I honestly only listened to this album because of the album cover and because it was part of the Satanic Panic presentation that they put on at our church when I was a kid. But I liked it. I mean, like I said, some of the lyrics are weird, but it's they're great songs. It's just it's just 80s rock, and I do want to check out the other albums, especially the other two other album covers that were in that presentation. One of the albums is called Sleight of Hand. I think the other one was I don't remember what the other one. I would know it only by looking at the album cover. If you like classic rock, if you like early 80s rock, this is a great album to listen to. It really is. I listened to it while I was mowing the lawn today, and I didn't, so I couldn't skip through any track, but I didn't want to skip through any track. I liked them all, and I will be checking out other albums just to hear it, just to see what all the hubbub was about. I heard there was no references to the occult or the devil, and I heard nothing backwards masked. So I think that might have been a charade. I don't know. Check it out though, Fire of Unknown Origin. If you do check it out, let me know what you think.